Hello again. I'm Charlene, Empowerment Life Coach and Inspirational Speaker. And again, we're here with Kitchen Talk. Today, we're going to kind of focus in on some day to day life things. I often talk about frequencies and how these energy frequencies actually blend in are are the heartbeat, the life of our life. Okay. So today I want to speak on a certain segment of the frequencies, how energy frequencies work. I was asked how, because I'm always talking about frequencies, how frequencies actually relate to our everyday life. So, and one particular incident, I was talking to a client and they brought up the concept of frequencies and they wanted to know how it worked regarding the heart, the frequency of the heart, in instances such as a broken heart, disappointment, and things like that. So I'm going to try to explain in a very brief description on how the frequencies work when you're dealing with a broken heart, disappointment, or even loss of a loved one, or loss of a friend. So it's really kind of simple. What happens is, as I stated before, we have an electromagnetic sphere. Looks like you could say it's an egg. Now, there is a little bit deeper explanation of this sphere. There is something we are surrounded around energy pattern that is called a Merkaba, but that's another discussion. Today we're going to talk about the energy in regards to the heart and the frequency of the heart and how to bring that frequency level up in your heart. So, um, for instance, let's give a scenario. You had a relation with someone, you've broken off, either you or the other person broken off. I really am going to stand on the side of the person that has been rejected. The this is going to be a little bit easier to explain. First off, when you first meet someone, you're in a relationship with someone, what happens is they tend to you get together, everything's great, wonderful, energy is heightened. You can in your emotion feel the energy of the situation of encountering with the person, the encounters that you have with the person. The energy is really a euphoric kind of feeling. It's very enjoyable on the emotional level. You're feeling really comfortable with the person. You're feeling a what I would verbally describe as a click with the person. Um, you discover a lot of likes that are in common with each other, and this again also so this helps the energy just kind of glide in together, just slide in together. So you guys are meeting, right? The energy meets. You have your electromagnetic sphere around you, they have theirs. And as the energy meets together, as you meet that person, your energy field is still there, it doesn't go anywhere. And in the energy field is where you're vibing and feeling, your emotions are picking up and sensing a lot of good, just good stuff happening energy wise with the other person, the opposite person that you've met. So everything's going along great. You're getting along great. You develop a relationship with this person over a period of time. And then it doesn't matter if it's a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, 2 years, 10 years, 15 years. The point is that the frequencies start to blend. Your auric field, your electromagnetic field, starts to blend in with that person that you have connected with, because your spiritual frequency energies are relaxed. They're off guard. They don't have to be on guard. They feel they relax and comfortable with this opposite person's energy and its frequency. Okay, so through a process of time, this frequency blends together with that person. It becomes a union. Um, and what is really happening is, as I stated in a previous video, there are energy streams, and energy streams shoot from all different types of things all the time, constantly. There is energy streams shooting from everywhere, from different people, from different things. And so, in this conversation, when we're talking about the frequencies that affect the heart in a relationship, during a loss or during disappointment, what is happening? On a metaphysical basis, the frequency is a stream of energy, just like a laser beam or anything like that. Think of a laser beam, okay? So as you meet this person and you blend with this person, each time as you meet, the first time you meet them, okay, it feels good, and your energy, your senses, your emotional senses are feeling that energy. And you understand what I'm talking about because you understand the excitement of meeting someone. The and it's always felt really in the heart, also in the mind. So the mind picks it up and says, "This is wonderful." And the heart, it transfers that message to the heart. Now, if you will, as you're coming with me on this through this journey of discussion, I don't want you to think of it in terms of physical. I want you to step out of the physical and go a little bit higher up and think of the spirit, think of the soul, and understand that the soul is always with you. It's always there. So it's really interacting in everything, in every aspect of your awareness, that thing we call life. Um, so as you're meeting this person and the vibes are going on, the emotion is just there and everything's just feeling really good, the energy stream is blending. And as the auric fields blend and mesh and feel comfortable and not feel friction in any way, also too does uh, the heart, the chakra heart. The energy then streams from the body. It pushes out like a little laser beam or something, and it streams right to the other person's heart. So now you have a connection between the hearts. It's an emotional connection. It's a spiritual frequency energy connection. And so you're connected in the mental, the mind plane, okay? And you're connected on the emotional plane, and you're also connected on the energy frequency plane, okay? So now you're connected. When the relationship goes sour or goes south or is broken in some way, if the other person, I always like to explain to clients when they're going through a difficult experience, a difficult moment in life, in their journey, and it's something like a love disappointment, a relationship ending in some way. I like to explain in a simple term what's really going on to help them get through it. What's happening is that stream that went from you to the other person is now being broken. It could even be stretching. It depends on what's going on. Sometimes it stays connected with the other person. And when you feel that piercing in your heart, it's because they're either pulling further away from you, and that string is stretching even more. And you're also thinking, "Oh my God, I've lost this person. Oh my God, what a disappointment." I mean, whatever you could be thinking, because you don't necessarily have to be thinking that. That's just, for instance, an example. But as you pull away, as you distance, as it becomes distance, as the relationship becomes more distance is put into the relationship between you and the person that you were conjoined with. And when I say conjoined, let's use the word involved, because involved means that your auric field and their auric field were involved with each other, okay? And once the distance starts to increase between you and the other person, That string can either be stretched. If it's an immediate cut off, it could be just cut off. And your string, your heartstring, that's right, it is a heartstring, your energy frequency heartstring is now just like hanging out in the spiritual body. It's just hanging out there, just like hanging like a wire. I like to explain it like that because that is basically what is be I can spiritually see, visually see. There's the string is just hanging out there, and it's like little little attachments. They're little small attachment, like wires almost, that are just hanging out there, like from the breakage of the connection with the other person. It's just hanging out, and so like if you were to cut yourself, your finger bleeds and it's in pain, the physical pain, and the nerves sends the message to the brain, the physical part of the brain, blah blah blah. The same thing with the spiritual and the spiritual body and the spiritual connections and all of that stuff. What happens is your body is now realizing that your spiritual body is now keenly aware that there has been a missing piece or something has been detached. And in that something being detached is sending signals about the connection being severed. Okay. And with that signal comes that awareness that you feel in your heart of like loss, like missing, like a detachment, like something has been missed, taken away. Something less has, there is a lessening in your heart, and you can feel that lessening through what it's very hard to verbalize the feeling, but I'll try my best to do like a piercing of the heart. And this happens when it's a relationship or a loss of a loved one, loss of a friend. Um, Depending on how deeply you were attached to that other person, how deeply you sent your energy frequency stream, heartstring to that other person, is how deep the piercing is. Now, I like to, in order to help you heal, because everybody, when they go through it, they want to be over with it like the next day. I wish I just didn't feel this way. The best way to do it is just to visualize yourself spiritually. See yourself wherever you're at. Close your eyes. See yourself wherever you're at. And then see that string hanging out. Just sometimes it's dragging on the ground and you feel the piercing of it dragging on the ground. So just see it hanging out, sitting there. Just do a quick little meditation and just take in your spiritual mental realm, take your hands and just fold it back up into your heart. And just keep your hands there and let it heal. It does take a moment only if you believe it takes a moment. But what you can help yourself do as you're healing, understand that this was an experience, albeit not a great one. Because it didn't end with you being, joyfully happy and elevating and ascending in spirit, but it nonetheless was a lesson. Again, this is a spiritual school. We're in a school. This thing we call earth, this thing we call life. You're consistently and always going through an experience. And it is an experience of learning. And in that learning, you either ascend or you take two steps backwards and you descend. Um, there's really no middle ground. No, contrary to what some think, there's no middle ground to this. But if you are going through a tough time right now with dealing with a loss or dealing with a broken heart, a disappointment, and disappointments, the stream is not necessarily of the heart so much. It depends on the situation. Because if it's someone, a family member, and you're disappointing in how they treated it, how they treated their lesson within the experience you had with them, then that's another whole. it's in a level of expectations. You expected that person to be a certain way, and that expectation is what got you, which what lowered, which is what made your frequency become lowered to a degree of what we call depression or disappointment or something in that matter. If we if we can put ourselves at a point of not expecting but just accepting what is, and I'm talking to the choir here because hey, still I have lessons to learn as myself. um, but if we can put ourselves at a level where not expecting unless we're expecting only positive, not expecting of the other person, because there's a universal law that says we cannot press our will onto someone else. That is just a flat out universal law. So if you expect that I want this person to be this way and this way and this way, you cannot exert your will, because what you expect is really what you're willing for the other person. And if you can find a point in your life, in your life where you can just kind of focus in on you and say, okay, this is my experience, and I must only view it from my point of learning, you know, my point of learning. Um, I know there's other people involved in my experience, but what am I supposed to glean, understand from this experience that is going to help me ascend? And when you're going through a broken heart, that's just like, what? Who cares what you think? I don't even want to hear what you're saying, because I'm hurting right now. I'm in pain, and there is really no physical cure for the pain that you're experiencing. And the reason why is because it's on a energy level, a frequency level, a level which is not seen to the natural eye, to the physical eye, but then it is still something that is real. You feel it. It is real. The pain is there. There is, people say, no cure to a broken heart. The cure is to understand what you're going through, and then learn how to just sit down, meditate, and fold that hanging out energy stream back into your heart so that it can regenerate and it can build and keep building. I guarantee you that if you try this little experiment, you will start feeling a lot better really soon. It may not be in that moment, but give it a second. You'll stop and you'll experience this piercing pain, this loss, this detachment. And then if you just imagine, even if you're busy doing something else, but you imagine yourself on the spiritual plane pulling that back into you, or covering, say that you've already did the experiment and you're still every now and then feeling this pain, cover your heart. See yourself in the spiritual realm, covering your heart and regenerating out into the heart, your heart, and building your energy back up, building that back up, and reattaching back to your core you, the core essence of who you are. When you do that, you will begin to feel much more stronger as an individual being, and your energy frequency will become much more vibrant. You'll also be able to understand the experience that you had, or even the loss that you've experienced, and you'll understand, and maybe there will be a little bit of clarity if you will allow it. I cannot promise that you'll receive clarity of why. That is an individual experience. But if you will do this experiment that I've just given you, you have a great odds, you have better odds of understanding your experience that you just went through. You'll also be able to glean from that experience what you need to understand and learn to move forward in the future for, say, another experience. You'll also learn more about who you are, and you'll learn what you will and what you will not accept anymore in your in your sphere, in your energy field, into your experience called life. All right. Okay, I think I've pretty much rattled on about the energy frequency of the heart when it is dealing with disappointment, loss, or just rejection. Again, if you are dealing with a loss, if you're dealing with energy frequencies that are, you're dealing with a pain, a disappointment in any area of your life, place yourself on the spiritual plane and find out and start regenerating, re-pulling back into you that energy stream that you let out, that you put out into whatever that experience was. Whatever you did, whatever you involved your energy stream into, you can always pull it back out. Now, if you this will not work if you're uh, say wanting to if you're generating out in any way, if you're frequencing out in any way, if you're seeding out anyway a negative vibe against the person that you just detached from, okay, or that detached from you, or that you lost in any way, if there's a negative sense there, you're not going, I won't say you won't get over it, but that frequency, your pattern, your energy will not be revived, will not come back and really be more vibrant to you. It will not return to you the way you need it to. And matter of fact, you'll seed out more negative energy that must come back to you the way you sent it out. So the best thing you can do is to see yourself healing see yourself self healing yourself in the spiritual plane, and then and focus all on you. Don't even think about that other person or that loss. That's another thing. Let's go to the loss part. But wait, let me finish. But don't think about the loss. Okay. Instead, think about regenerating and rejuvenating yourself. And one way to do that, as you pull this string back into your spiritual heart, as you sit and meditate and do this exercise, you can then start looking at you and think of all the good things that you are, all that is good of you. That also builds that energy back up and starts to revibrate that, so that when the pain comes again, and it's inevitable, it's going to come again for a second at least, and then when it comes again, it'll immediately, your soul, your higher divine you, will immediately project that good that you've seeded out, that you've thought in your mind about when you were healing your heart on the spiritual plane. It will eject that out to you, and you'll remember, oh yeah, I'm a good person. It's too bad they couldn't see it. It'll start automatically coming to you. Now, when we talk about loss and you have lost a loved one or something like that, the best way that I can advise for you is that to understand that it's not going to be great. You might not like what I'm about to say, but it must be said. We as individuals are pretty much narcissistic. As individual people, we are pretty much self-involved. There is a lot of self-involvement in us as human beings, as individuals. Um, so when someone has crossed over, or you have passed over, and you're experiencing a loss in that manner, when we express sadness about it, it is more of a sad, if you think about it, it's more of a sadness that I'll never be able to speak to that person again. I'm never going to be able to see them and say hi to them, and so we kind of we withdraw, and the pain is so sometimes severe because the loss is so just overwhelmingly strong. The energy frequency that was shot out into that particular experience or person that you've lost was very, very, very deeply connected to the person. But now that the person is not on this field stream and this dimension anymore, that energy stream has been severed. It has been severed and cut. There is no hanging little wire particles like I usually see. It's just severed. It's just severed, and it is healing. It's not a healing that will take overnight. It's just not meant to. Okay, it does not. And I tell clients all the time, there is no measured, determinable time frame for you to get over a loss. There's not. So I see. I have had many clients who will say, "Well, I lost this person 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago, and my family and friends say, I know they're telling me I should move on. They're not really saying it, but I know they are saying it," kind of thing. There is no measurable time frame for a loss, and each loss is different because each loss has its own depth of energy frequency that you were connected to with this person. But now that they're not on this side, it just takes a little bit more of a it's really more of a mental and energy frequency, spiritual as well as emotional, um, overwhelming. It's like overwhelming. What do you do with this energy that is just hanging there now? And for you, I would still suggest that you sit and you go to the spiritual plane in a meditation mode, and pull all of this energy back into your heart and see the other person. Just try to just visualize the other person on the other side smiling. This will help you. This will help you. This is not saying, "Oh, I'm trying to convince myself that they're okay." No, this is not what this is about. We are very powerful beings. And when you do think, when you have thoughts, when you visit the mental realm, which we do every day, daily, consistently, all throughout our day, then you are really actually creating. Okay? So, and I wouldn't be surprised if you did that exercise, if you've experienced a loss, that you may be able to either get in contact with the other person will send a message in some way. Um, Always the energy of joy. When you emit the energy of joy in any way, either here in the what I call matrix, but it's what other people refer to as the physical plane, or in the spiritual plane. When you emit this energy of joy, the energy of joy is a powerful moving force. And the molecules of energy, whether it be on the physical or spiritual plane, these molecules, it seems like they have a mind of their own. The atoms just start going to a higher frequency phase, and it moves things. It moves energy out of the way, and it just transports it to the focus point that you are generating that joy energy to. And with that being said, that person on the other side may be able to connect to you much quicker with the sense of joy, okay, with the frequency of joy. And if you see them smiling on the other side, and you're holding your heart in a spiritual meditation, and you're on the spiritual level, then what will happen? And I always say your palms are the best energy frequencies that you can heal anything. I mean, you really can. You have a power of energy. Everyone does. You have the power to heal. The thing is to know how to use it. So in this little exercise that I've given you about healing the heart on the spiritual level, you want to make sure when you are in your meditation, you don't have to physically do it, but you can visualize seeing yourself cupping your palms. Okay, do it like this. Cupping your palms over each other. Make sure that both palms are hitting each other so that it is a cup like this, that it is cupping, okay? And you're going to see yourself do this in the energy, in the spiritual plane, and you're covering the heart, okay? Now, the heart is not where the heart sits in the physical. It sits in the chest like this. It's in the spiritual heart chakra, okay? Center. And you're going to be putting your hands here as you meditate and visualize your spiritual on the spiritual plane. You'll visualize yourself putting your hands here and bringing the energy back into the heart. And if you can find a way to see the other person on the other side who has crossed over, see them smiling and at peace, then I'm pretty sure it happens for some, but some it doesn't. It just depends on your level of connectivity regarding your spiritual awareness. But you could get a message from that person from the other side of them being just fine. It could be a message through maybe a radio song, television program, or a dream. Or you could see someone that resembles them, or anything. A friend could make confirm a message for you. Anything to give you the message that you're on the right road, and perfectly I'm happy. So that is pretty much it for energy frequencies of the heart and how to heal and how to deal with disappointments, to deal with broken hearts, and to deal with loss, heart loss. And I'm going to let you go today, but I will be back, and thanks for listening. Blessings to you. If you've been dealing with some transitions in life that have not been all that happy for you, if you're struggling with life changes, career transitions, and money issues, if you've had some paranormal or supernatural experiences lately that you've not been really comfortable with, or you have relationship issues that deal with family, friends, or even on a romantic level, it's time. Break free.